Well, artificial intelligence is now finding its way into the hands of Chinese spies who are trying to rival the CIA. A New York Times article revealing the AI system being used by Chinese spies that actually tracks American spies and others, pinpointing their targets, networks, vulnerabilities. It comes as China's President Xi Jinping is trying to fulfill his goal of China rivaling the U.S. as the world's top military power. All right, let's bring in John Ullyot, former National Security Council spokesman. John, thank you so much for your time. How much spying is China doing on the U.S., and how does AI really change the game?
Well, glad to join you, Nichole. What happens on this announcement or this report on AI is really nothing that we wouldn't have expected, is that you have the U.S. and China are the two kings, really, when it comes to AI development. And so the Chinese are very crafty, not just in the AI space, but overall in terms of all collections, electronic means, actually human means as well. They have a vast network in the United States. So we know that they were spying on us in a big way. We are their #1 target in terms of overall great power competition. And so it's no surprise that China is using its capabilities on the AI front to go after our secrets, #1, but also to spy on vast data that they've been able to collect, whether it's through TikTok or other platforms, on ordinary Americans. There's also a report from about 2 years ago that the Chinese hacked into a Office of Personnel Management database that had information on some 20 million Americans, including essentially all the workers in the federal government, and was able to gather information on there. And so the reports are showing that what's new here, Nichole, is that China is using its AI capability to comb through data such as they have collected, once again, through this hack a couple of years ago with OPM, vast amount of data that they would not have had the ability to have individual spies, if you will, or intelligence operators within their country to comb through that data. So instead, they're using AI to make sense of that data, and whether it comes on ordinary Americans through TikTok or once again through their hacking into OPM or other hacks, even on the private sector side as well. So that's how they're using AI. Once again, it's no surprise because they're very capable there and they already have the data sets. This just provides them an ability to comb through that data and make sense of it that they would never have had without AI.
Well, yeah, it really is scary to think of the vulnerabilities in all of this. But John, I do want to ask you, I mean, how much of a two-way street is this? Because obviously the U.S. needs to keep an eye on other nations, including China, as well.
Absolutely, Nichole. That's a great point, is that we have a tremendous AI capability. When it comes to our problem with China right now is that about 10 years ago, according to reports, that a lot of our on-the-ground human assets, really 24 of them by reports, were wrapped up and were collected and probably killed, if not imprisoned, but probably killed by the Chinese. And because of their surveillance state there, it's very, very hard for the CIA and other intelligence assets that we have to be able to recruit people who can make sense of the decision-making behind the Chinese government. Because look, if their assets are being rolled up like that, no Chinese would want to put himself or herself at risk by becoming an agent for the United States. So meantime, China has a number of spies here in the U.S. They have hundreds of spies, both in the private sector, collecting data on the private sector, as well as on the public sector and on technology like AI. So what happens is that we're trying to use the AI in the same way that they are, but we just don't have the collection capabilities that they have because we have lost many of our assets, 24 of our human assets over there. So it's really kind of we're on the back foot. Our capabilities are just as good in AI, but we're on the back foot in terms of having assets to gather the data that then we can exploit through AI.
Yeah, that's certainly disturbing, to say the least. Sorry, former NSC spokesman John Ullyot, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.